We had sausage and pineapple pizza with mozzarella sticks last night. So there's your cheese sticks.
Yum.
Is that how they make mozzarella sticks? They just drop a thing of like a cheese stick in there? How's that made? No, that's not it.
You got to bread it.
Right. You've got to bread it.
And go.
I forgot that you could buy mozzarella sticks like that.
Yeah.
Mozzarella. Luigi.
Mario.
It's me, Mario.
I'm going to win. Are you?
That's Luigi.
Yeah.
I'm gonna win.
I'm going to win. It's me, Mario.
Wah! Who's that?
I don't know.
That's Waluigi.
Waluigi? Oh. Wah.
Is that's more like him?
Sure. All I see is John Leguizamo.
As Waluigi?
I don't know. He played Luigi, didn't he?
Wah.
Hey.
And then what does Wario sound like? They're like the same, but different.
Yeah.
Like Waluigi's just a higher pitch.
Different tone.
Yeah.
Different octave.
And he's purple.
See?
No, you're purple.
I am purple. Waluigi.
Who's your favorite Mario character?
Well, I've always stuck with Mario, I guess.
I mean, basic bitch.
Yeah, but I mean, strategy comes into play because if you do Princess Peach and certain thing, you're lighter weight, you can take off a little easier. I don't know if I have a favorite.
In Super Mario 2, Peach would glide. You would jump and she would glide. Over, like she wouldn't even come down until you ran out of time. It was like maybe 3 seconds or so that she would glide there.
Yeah.
So she's very light.
Yeah.
However, my favorite is Daisy. In every Mario game I play, if she's an option, I will be Daisy.
Daisy.
She's my favorite.
Daisy.
And it's funny in like the all of the characters have their little saying or thing that they do. And in Mario Kart, if you click Daisy, she just says, "Hi."
Hi. That's funny. Yeah.
She's my favorite.
I was really into Mario Kart, like in 64 and then on.
It's hard to go back and play that stuff now.
It is. But that's kind of how I didn't really grow up on like regular Mario.
Yeah.
It was just like at that time when N64 came out, my neighbor had it, and that's what we
right
got onto.
No, it was fun at the time, but after having the Wii Mario Kart come out, Wii U, and now the Switch to be able to play it, and it's way more three-dimensional.
It is
now on the screen. It's going back, and I've gone back to play 64, and I used to be great at it. And I am not.
I'm like,
it's hard. And especially going back to Super Nintendo. Fuck.
No.
You can't see anything.
No.
That was all based on memorization.
Yeah.
Because you needed to memorize exactly where you needed to go because you can't see anywhere in front of you. On any racing games in that system.
Yeah.
Everything was so flat. You couldn't see. There was nothing.
Stupid.
Yeah. Fun fact.
Yo.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the opposite of important. We are in your faces
right now
and in your ears.
This time we have video and audio and visual. There we go.
I do like that.
Yeah.
And last time we had trouble, but
we got around it.
Guess who's back?
Back again.
Camera's back
with some phlegm. I don't know. I mean,
it's tell a friend.
Tell a friend.
Tell a friend. Speaking of, you should check it.
Let's check it. We are rolling.
See, that's what we needed.
Rolling.
I like it.
Limp Biscuit.
So today we are going to be talking to our friend Jamie.
Jamie. Everyone knows Jamie.
And well, not everybody.
Well, now
but if you don't, they will soon. God. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff.
Nerd
right?
stuff.
I mean, let's pretend like we haven't done it yet. I actually, how long have I known Jamie now? It's been a long time.
84 years.
It's been 84 years.
I came across her around 2012.
2012?
Ish, around that time.
Okay.
About the time we started hanging out.
Yeah, maybe.
'Cause
Maybe
it's
that was about the same time.
Kind of the same group.
If you met Jamie in 2012, I'm going to say that I met her in 2011 because I want to be fancy.
You were in shows and stuff before.
She would know.
Yeah.
I believe, and she can correct me if I'm wrong, but she probably has a calendar and a diary of every time that we've hung out.
Probably.
And not even a diary entry, a full diary of each time that we hang out.
That's right. 300 some pages.
It's very descriptive.
Like, wow.
Anyway, we are going to talk to Jamie. How about we move over here?
All right.
And we do that.
You ready? 1, 2, work the arms.
There's mics in the way.
Oh.
And let's do it.
Here we are.
So, Jamie, we haven't seen you in person in 7 years.
Yeah. Adds up.
Yeah. That checks out.
You're looking like a Spice Girl with the nubs, with the hair nubs.
I like nubs.
I am looking a little bit like a Spice Girl. Which one?
Pumpkin Spice.
That would have been Sporty Spice.
40?
Yeah.
40 or, yeah.
Oh, it was definitely Sporty. I was a big fan. It's doing it for me.
We got to watch that movie, man.
That tracks, because like the Spice Girls were really popular when I was in 6th grade, so that would have been you were in high school, yeah?
No, we are exactly the same age.
We are. You're right. I misspoke.
Yes, Spice Girls, they started, what is that, like 98?
98?
98?
Yeah, sounds about right.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I remember plenty of birthday parties with that CD in the little player.
Yeah. I picked up, I forget, did I get that one online? I ended up finding that cassette tape somewhere. And I was like, well, I'm never going to listen to the, all of it. But it has a place in my history. So I feel like it merited being bought.
They made a movie out of it.
Yeah.
And then they had Josie and the Pussycats, which was like a little side. I don't know. They weren't related, but they were similar.
No, that was definitely a different thing.
It was, but
Yeah, because Josie and the Pussycats was like around before then too.
Yeah.
Wasn't a comic with like Archie and Sabrina? Like they were all comics at the same
I just
time,
remember
right?
Carson Daly in it. Carson Daly was in it.
Well, that's because he was in everything.
Everywhere.
Yeah, he was on MTV.
With him being in TRL.
Now he's on the Today Show.
What was he had a late night thing, the Carson Daly show?
Yeah, it was like called? Super late, like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Like something, what was it? I forget. But yeah, it was like way after all the late night talk shows.
Yeah. Did you watch that?
Nuts. Boo.
No.
I don't remember him having anything good on except for like a potential musical act.
Yeah, I think they were following bands and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah.
I mean, it made sense for him, I suppose.
Yeah. Why not?
So,
Well, because his whole career was like once you start with TRL and that runs forever,
yeah,
kind of niched at that point. I feel
that's true.
Yeah, you're stuck in the music industry.
Good point.
All right.
Yeah.
Talking about it, maybe.
Yeah. So yeah, how's quarantine life?
It's going pretty well. I'm here every day and with my sister.
Yeah. When did that? So you're there with Bailey. How long has she been there?
Well, she's been here since the start of school because we decided it would be better for her to live with me rather than she usually stays at my parents'.
Yeah.
During the school year. And in case she got sick, we thought it was better for it to be in my house rather than my parents' house.
Okay.
So she lives with me. And then my pets got shipped to my parents' house because she's allergic.
Oh, man. Like,
yeah. So
there's a
it's
price to
year
pay.
now.
There's a price to pay.
So how often do you visit your pets?
And
are they okay with this?
Yes,
okay.
They have adapted, and
and your parents adopted.
It's fine. I mean, Watson can be lazy there just as he can be lazy here. So
that's true.
That's fair. Aww.
And for Vader, it might even be better because there's more woods and stuff for him to go check out.
Oh, he's outside there as well.
That's sweet.
Oh yeah.
And yet he still comes home?
Yes, well, because that's where the food is.
Oh yeah, that's true. Unless he all of a sudden became a hunter.
Yeah, I feel like he takes so long to pounce on hair ties, I'm fairly confident he could never catch a living thing.
Yeah.
Now I say that, and then within like the first 3 weeks of him living at my parents', he caught a cardinal somehow.
Wow.
And he left it on their front porch.
Oh.
He's an Iowa State fan. Yeah. All right.
He is. Or he's
not.
So I don't know how he managed to catch a bird.
Yeah.
But he must like it enough to leave presents for my parents.
Nice.
Excellent.
My God, that's amazing.
Are you a proud parent?
I mean, I thought it was pretty funny. Dad did not appreciate it because Dad really likes cardinals.
Oh.
And he likes watching, like, because they're so pretty to look at and stuff. So he was not happy.
So that's one less cardinal in the world for your dad to admire. Bummer.
Mm-hmm. It was. It was a bummer. It might deter them from coming around, though. So that was more of it.
That's true. Yeah.
It was pretty weird, though, because then this fall, since Watson and Vader haven't been around to keep other animals away, there's been cats outside my porch. There's like a herd of 3 cats that like to sit on the furniture.
Any
at
keepers?
My porch. Like I wish.
Well, I know
like,
I know you can't right now, but if they happen to stick around, are there any that are good house quality?
I don't. Well, I mean, they all looked really like healthy and not like creepy looking or anything. They were all they're all like still pretty little.
Yeah.
But they were the cutest. There were 2 little gray ones, and then one that was like orange and white. And but they were really skittish, so they would run away whenever I opened the door. So
yeah,
probably not too friendly.
I think I told you this, but I basically re-released our Die Hard episode.
Yes, the famous
that we did on an old podcast.
That was 2 years ago.
That was 2 years ago.
God.
And we will be dead soon.
Okay.
Because
it's been 84 years.
That was a long time ago. It was interesting because I wanted to go back and listen to it, so I did. And then it was weird to get back in that headspace of where I would have been 2 years ago, because I made some comments in there about other, like here and there, of other stuff that I was doing at the time and other movies I had been watching. And it was just, I don't know. It was weird to go. It's not very often that I go back and listen to stuff that we recorded. Like I have to listen to it before it goes out a bit. Yeah. But other than that, I don't like to check back in. Also, there was an observation made that, because we talked about this, so I guess I did tell you about it. Right. There was an observation made that both of our voices seemed higher 2 years ago than they are now.
It's like he played a clip on Zoom when we were hanging out. And I'm like, that can't, like, I get it. I hear my voice and I get it doesn't sound like when you just talk, you know?
Yeah.
But still, I'm like, that's my voice.
But you sounded exactly the same.
To us, yeah.
So...
I was listening to like the first 10 minutes of that as I was getting my computer set up.
Oh, well, the first 10 minutes is brutal because I was talking for the first 10 minutes.
And it was good because I only heard myself a little, because I'm like, oh, I had a cold apparently 2 years ago time, because my voice was a little crackly.
That's right. I remember that.
Yep. That's funny.
God.
I also did not realize we traumatized Joe so much.
It was... So it was
me in the middle.
It was after the fact that Joe told me at some point, just in passing. I don't think it's seriously affected his life since then. But he told me what it felt like to be between the two of us, kind of arguing our points. And then having known that and going back and listening to it, it was hilarious.
Probably
it made it more fun to listen to.
Hear the tone of my voice.
And I feel, because I so rarely get like that hyped up about an argument. So like, and that one I was like very
well, we were all prepping.
Yeah.
And you know, I at least had like a lifetime of watching this. Of watching this movie. So I at least knew the stuff I knew from that. And then I think there was a couple like articles or whatever that had just popped up in the news that probably got us in the spirit of talking about it to begin with.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's funny. And then one of our friends said it was showing at the movie theater today. Mm-hmm. And they were like, hey, you want to go? And I'm like, hey, I'm in Minnesota.
And I just watched it. It's like, it's nuts. I looked up, I don't know how far we're getting into it, but I looked up all the release dates
all the way.
of all of 5 of them. 5.
Yeah.
Only 2 of them take place around Christmas.
That's true. Mm-hmm. One of them takes place around, so I do know, like, hold on here.
Joe's got to get on his phone.
I think it's the 4th one that takes place around Independence Day.
That's right.
And then the 3rd one might just be a regular day. I don't think that one's necessarily tied to a holiday.
Right.
Die Hard 3.
If it is, it's probably Independence Day.
Die Hard 1, July 20th, 1988. Die Hard 2, July 3rd. Kind of close, 1990. Die Hard 3, May 19th. That's my birthday. When I turned 6.
Oh, nice.
So happy birthday to me.
So did you go?
Yeah, I did. Because my parents were awesome. Die Hard 4, 07, June 27th. Yeah. But yeah, it was like Independence Day based.
Because that one's Live Free or Die Hard.
That's right. That's right. And then we had Die Hard 5, which came out February 13th, 2013.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like these weird.
And they're potentially prepping 6. Is what I heard.
Like, where are they going to go?
Because of everything that's happening right now, they say don't expect anything until like 2022 if it does happen. Well, and then there was the commercial. Joe showed me a commercial. What was that? Interstate?
It was called Die Hard Battery.
Die Hard Battery. I'm fucking dumb. Why would I think it was an Interstate battery when there's a battery called Die Hard?
That's amazing.
It was like a good solid.
I just knew it was a fucking battery.
Yeah. You were close.
Wow.
You were close.
Well, yeah. I lost points.
It was a good 2-minute long commercial with the limo driver because apparently...
Argyle.
Yeah. But I don't know where Carl would have been or whatever that guy's name is because that would have been funny.
Yeah.
Like, what's he doing?
Carl was his name in Family Matters.
Everyone knows him as Carl.
But it was funny. It was like a 6 or 8 minute thing.
Yeah.
Of him playing John McClane. And then there's Argyle there. And did it have...
I had a crane operator, but I don't know if that guy was
I don't think that was anybody.
Yeah. But
I don't think so.
It was kind of cool. Like,
have you seen it?
I haven't.
Go on to YouTube and look it up. It's like they just made a little mini movie.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that Bruce cashed in.
It's 2 minutes. That's all it is.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what?
Excellent. Yeah. I will watch it after this.
It was just like, I don't know why they came out with it now because it's, relatively close to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, yeah, totally.
That would have been a Super Bowl commercial. Yep. Big time.
Well, I wonder.
Maybe they didn't think that the Super Bowl was going to happen.
Yeah, that's true. Like, get it out there when you could.
It's possible.
Like hell.
Yeah. Well, and like I get like the big like lead up for Super Bowl, but then there's also like so many commercials. Like, and unless you're guaranteed to be amazing, like no one's gonna remember it. So
yeah,
right.
You're hedging your bets there. Although, I mean, Die Hard riffing off of Die Hard, like I don't think that would have been bad. So I don't know.
Yeah, it was pretty clever.
Maybe there'll be a sequel one for.
Oh, that'd be
Super
hilarious.
Bowl.
Yeah. But yeah, we talked about Die Hard for like 45 minutes in that episode that we recorded.
Yeah.
And it was quite impressive.
Yeah. We did well. We did okay.
And as I mentioned, I was in Minneapolis last night, or the area. It wasn't actually Minneapolis. But we watched Die Hard 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
No. Die Harder.
Die Harder.
Wow, that was offensive.
I'll show myself
out. Die Harder. Like, that is a terrible name. That's why I think most of the time it's just Die Hard.
It's the perfect name for an 80s movie.
Die Harder.
It came out in 1990, though.
Well, I was borderline.
Yeah.
I guess I should have paid attention. You
fair.
did say the dates.
That's fair.
We were barely in the 90s.
Barely in the 90s.
Barely. I will give you barely.
Joe wasn't even alive.
Yes, I was.
Fuck you.
89, man.
Joe was barely alive.
I was barely alive.
What year were you born, Jamie?
87.
87.
Yeah, that's
you got more of the 80s like me.
Yeah, that's what your pool balls say on your mantle.
You barely
Yes.
you barely get to be called an 80s kid.
I know.
Which is
7 months.
Which is kind of funny because Taylor Swift, who we all know that I enjoy listening to, she put out an album called 1989 because it's the year that she's born. But if you look it up, it was December of 1989.
My brother's barely 85. He was 30.
Yeah.
December 31st, 85.
Yeah, it doesn't count.
It's like, whoop. one tax write-off. It's a tax write-off. I don't know.
The year you're born.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's like, you better make it before midnight.
So did you end up watching Die Hard 2? You said that you might.
I did.
What'd you think?
No, I watched it today.
I gotta catch up.
I liked it.
Okay.
I liked it. Like, here's the thing. I like the Die Hard movies. I just don't like thinking of them as Christmas movies.
Well, it was funny because we were watching it, and we watched the entire movie, snow, whatever, not really necessarily one mention of Christmas throughout the movie. It's just snow and death. That's pretty much it. And then it gets to the end of the movie, and this is a spoiler for anybody that hasn't seen it, but it's been 30 years, so I think we're good.
Adds up.
And the plane lands safely thanks to the fire, and then he reunites with his wife Holly, and it starts playing, "Oh, the weather outside is frightful." And I looked at Paul and I said, "See, Christmas movie."
There you go.
Like, I would argue even harder against this one. Like, they're
funny.
Just Christmas adjacent. That's what they are.
Right.
And
Yep.
I will budge no further.
Right? It's so, I don't know. It's fun to bring up these conversations to people at work that are starting to listen to these now. So that's kind of where I'm at. It was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. It's like, no, there's no wreath. There's no, look at the poster. There's nothing on it.
Well, even like, even so on the first one, I remember like he's in more of a decorated Christmas area, but even on this one, most of the movie takes place outside of that because they're either like behind the scenes at the airport or they're up in the like terminal area, which isn't super decorated. So like 90% of the action takes place in just like generic, not Christmas area.
More like Gennaro.
Oh,
see what I did?
Good job. I did.
They seem to be very happily in love in that movie, and
there was no angst.
in our 2 years ago episode, you were hating on their relationship pretty hard, but it appears that John McClane he
must have fixed
brought it back out, But then don't get too attached because by the time part 3 happens, she's back out of the picture.
God.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
I
boys will be boys.
On it, but I was also hating on the argument that the only reason he would go and visit his family was because it was the holidays. Like, I took exception to that being the argument. Was more where it was coming from.
That's allowed.
Fair.
Yeah.
But I did
let it slide.
If you guys haven't seen Die Hard 2, sorry, because this is going to be very specific and very nitpicky.
I like it.
Besides offering exposition for him to be able to explain why he, like, all these police departments he works for, what was the purpose of the car getting towed?
Ooh.
Like, I have...
Really?
Like, I'm pretty sure... I don't think there's any... Just so he could, like, talk to that other cop and be like, hey, I'm a cop in LA.
Just the introduction
in LA.
of that...
I used to be one in New York.
Just the introduction of that dude's brother, who was the one handing out the parking tickets or whatever it was. So and what's the name of that dude? I forget it. The one that was in...
Andy Stipowitz.
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry, that was his character in NYPD Blue.
Oh, God.
But I don't...
Oh, yeah. So, doesn't it start with an F or something like that?
I'm terrible.
Is it Frank something?
It might be. I don't know.
Francis?
Where's
Francis?
I don't know if this is working at the time, but Echo, who were the stars of NYPD Blue?
NYPD Blue stars include Dennis Franz, Jimmy Smith,
Dennis
and Gordon
Franz.
Clapp.
Yes.
I didn't know if you could hear that or not. Could you hear it? Oh, that's so funny.
Sweet.
I rigged this up better than I thought I did.
We have 15 panels sitting around.
We got,
You're
Jamie, we got yelled at by a couple people because my
Yes, we did.
Alexa was named Alexa. And we had to change it. Hey, Samuel, how are you doing today?
I'm kind of having a bad day. A badass day.
See?
It's worth it.
You should ask him a Die Hard 3 question.
Hey, Samuel, were you in Die Hard 3?
You may remember me as Zeus Carver in Die Hard with a Vengeance.
I do.
I do. And
that's what you get for $5,
There you
Jamie.
go.
You get
That's
3 seconds.
That is well spent, sir. $5 well spent.
Yes.
You may remember me. Was that a good impression?
Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Probably not.
And I do, because I think that's the first Die Hard movie I watched.
Yeah, you were saying that.
And the one, I was telling you about this, and probably the one I've seen the most is Die Hard 3.
Right. We got to make 3 gallons.
Now, have you? Is that what it was? Because there was a
It's water.
Yeah.
Was it a
There's a 5 and a 3.
5 and
and
a 5 and a 3, and they need?
They had to make.
No. There's only 2.
they have to make 4.
4.
I think they have a 5
So there's
and
a 5
3,
and a 3.
they have to make a 4.
And do you remember how they did it?
There's a way to do it.
There is a way to do it.
They were in like what? They
I
were
think even as an adult, when I would watch it, I'm like, I still don't understand.
I know. It's like math. Okay.
I can't remember how
So
you do it.
they did something with the 5, and then they dumped that into the 3, and then
you get 3 there.
and then they lost me.
I can't remember how it is, but yeah, it's like it's a brain teaser. and I
Dude,
can't
what if
remember how they solved it.
Samuel knew, like, if I could ask him that and he would actually do it? He won't, because it's definitely not worth it.
I think what you do is you fill up the 3
Okay.
and you pour it into the 5. So you
Yes.
have 3 in there.
Yeah.
So you fill up the 3 again and use that to fill up the 5, and it gets rid of 2.
Okay.
Dump the 5
Okay.
and you take the 1 that was remaining in the 3, dump it in the 5, fill up the 3 again, and you have 4 in the 5.
God, you're so good.
Wow. You're good.
Got you
That's
guys.
impressive.
And then he whips out a purple lightsaber. It's like, God.
And he's like, Lucas, I ain't going out like no bitch.
Nope.
And
Decades before.
I'm not gonna. Okay, first of all, we're about to get into a conversation that I can't say too much. Well, and you don't know shit, so it's fine. It's fine. Joe hasn't watched The Mandalorian
That's
at
true.
all.
That's true.
So,
I've had,
but Jamie just started it.
Okay.
A bit late,
Okay. That's
but
good.
respectable. There has been speculation that they may try to bring Mace Windu back in The Mandalorian. Now, they have not. And I'm also not going to spoil anything and tell you who they have potentially brought back. But it would be really cool if they did, because he just fell out the window. You know, he got electrocuted, and
we don't know if he's dead.
Yes.
and he just went
I
away.
think I read that. Yeah. So
And I'm not an expert, but I'm pretty sure I've seen a lot of Jedi before break their fall with the Force
See?
if they're good.
Yeah.
And he was pretty good.
And I feel like in the movies they even like would fall and then like land on cars a lot.
Yeah.
See?
And there
Because
was lots of
everyone's
cars out
always
there.
flying around there.
Flying
So-
cars. That's right.
Mace Windu is alive and well, my friends.
Well, he's been doing a lot of Capital One commercials. You know?
It's too bad he wasn't wearing his robes. That would be funny.
I love the one where the most recent one where John Travolta plays Santa.
I was at a wedding yesterday and I saw that. It was on the TV. I walked in the house and I saw John Travolta as Santa, and then was he just being himself in it? Because I just barely caught it. But I said to the people who I hadn't really met or talked to yet, I was like, was that fucking John Travolta as Santa Claus?
He's got the long hair like Pulp Fiction, but it's gray because it's Santa.
Yeah.
And he's talking on Zoom to Samuel L. Jackson. And it's like,
was Samuel L. Jackson just playing himself?
pretty much. And then
That's
it's
funny.
like, hey, am I on the naughty list? Like, are you off the naughty words? Like, nope. And then at the end, he's doing the
naughty
eye
words.
thing.
That's funny.
Have you guys seen Staged?
Staged. Why does that sound
no.
familiar?
No.
It was a 6-episode BBC thing, and it was mainly between David Tennant and Michael Sheen.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think I've heard it.
Samuel L. Jackson makes an appearance.
Oh,
Fabulous.
funny.
Gold.
Is it just like a
'Cause the
one series thing?
Yeah, because
Okay.
they shot it during COVID. The premise is these 2 actors were supposed to start rehearsing a play,
Yeah.
and the director's like, "Hey, let's just rehearse it over Zoom."
Yeah.
And so
Joe,
it's only like 6 episodes, but it's good.
in the UK, they don't call it a season; they call it a series.
Yes, that's correct.
You're welcome.
It's like certain colleges, not saying it's a major, it's called a concentration. Fancy.
I didn't know that one.
Drake
We're
has
all
it.
learning here today.
I guess, but like for Iowa State, they have it a little mixed. Like integrated studio arts, you have a concentration.
Yeah.
You have an integrated studio arts major, concentration of whatever your media is. I think that's how it works.
So I didn't
was not
finish. I didn't finish, and I barely started college, so I don't exactly know what we're talking about right now. But rest assured, I'm gifted.
Yes, talented and gifted.
You are.
Thank you.
You're self-taught.
I have two questions. Was that, and they're not necessarily related, and hopefully by the time I finish the first one, I can remember the second one. But sometimes we have problems. Joe knows this. Okay, first question. That series that you watched, was it better and or more enjoyable than the other series that they did together?
Good Omens?
Good Omens, yes.
I think they are equally... you can appreciate them both for what they are. Like, I really liked Good Omens. And that is a more... it's richer. But, like, I feel like the interesting thing about this series was knowing that, like, they shot it themselves. They had to do everything themselves because they were just setting up their computers, recording it. So they're just completely different vibes because it's basically what we're doing now is like how they would do it. So I just think, like, if you're wanting something that's like super professional and like high quality and everything, then you wouldn't enjoy this. You would prefer Good Omens. But if you like more like people-y things, I don't know. It was a slower pace. I don't know. I appreciate them both for completely different reasons.
Okay.
Nice.
Same number of episodes, perhaps?
I think there are. I think there's 6 in both.
And I do remember my follow-up question that's not related to those two at all. But did you ever watch Discovery of Witches?
No, I went to... is that one done? Like, sometimes I like waiting until things are like several seasons in.
I believe that it's supposed to be coming back at some point, but I don't know what COVID did to that. But
because that's the one with like Matt Goody and that girl who was 6.
I do not know their names, but I watched the show because I caught wind of it while I was. You used to be able, with a VPN, you could watch the BBC programming online, but now that has since changed. And even a couple years ago, when I could do that, you could watch live TV as well. So it was fun because you could watch all of the live like game shows and whatever that they had on over there, and then the news, and I don't know, it was just fun. It was cool. But they've recently changed the format of it online. I'm sure I could maybe figure out a way, but I don't know. They probably don't want me to.
You're listening to BBC One.
This is BBC One. I was watching something. I think it might have been a Rick and Morty episode or something like that. But they did a thing at the end of a show within the show where it was scrolling the credits and they were talking like it was on the BBC and they used the British accent. It was fucking hilarious. Because occasionally when I would watch online episodes of Doctor Who, you would catch a recording of it that it would be the live broadcast that somebody then just did a screen record or whatever. And you could hear all of the, and coming up next.
I was like, what?
But anyway, I watched that show and I loved it. It was really good.
Excellent. Then yes.
And
then I'm ready to watch it.
Yes. And I actually have it if you don't have access to it.
Oh.
But I think... Okay,
we're going to share the screen right now.
Oh, right. So this is all over the place. But I went to Barnes & Noble today before I left the Eden Prairie area, which is where I stayed last night with Paul. And I saw that they had a Discovery of Witches book. So I assume that it was a book first. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So I found it, but it was a paperback. And I'm like, maybe this would be a good way to get my wife into the show. Because I'm not sure she's going to take my word for it that it's good willy-nilly when she can watch some of her weird CBS shows that she likes to watch. So I went and asked about a hardcover. This is relevant to you. And she was like, nah, we don't have any. And I'm like, I know I'm weird. I like hardcovers. And I'm just a fan of hard things, Joe.
I just need something to put my coffee on.
I left the door wide open for a sexual joke and he didn't take it.
So I
went to Amazon and it was $11. So go to Amazon for the hardcover if you want to read the book. Yeah. So totally do that. Because I know that you are a fan of the books.
The words.
I have actually not read them yet.
No. I mean the books in general. That you are
you mean
into
these things
Look at that.
that are
books.
all over.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So do that.
Yes,
but
sorry.
I'll drop off a flash drive sometime with the episodes. I need to remember the format of your TV. I mean the legal DVDs.
Yes.
I will drop those off
That's
to
correct.
you. That I purchased. They're region free.
Legally.
Very.
I can't wait.
Also, and this was the other thing, is that on the paperback it said that it's on Shudder, the network
okay.
that had like Creep
Shudder.
Show
The horror
and
kind of
yeah.
network. Yeah.
So that's kind of neat.
Neat.
But now we're out of that season, so I'm not sure I want to pay for that.
Boo.
I'll pay for that service
Later.
1 month a year.
Yes. Wink. Ting.
I don't know. I feel like all winter I kind of watch horror movies. It's very odd because
Yeah.
that's what my sisters and I like to watch apparently for the holidays, and usually we don't get to at Thanksgiving. So we usually watch them. We watch scary movies at Christmas.
Yes, that's the way to do it.
We're cool.
Gosh.
Well, I'm going to make a
Although this
recommendation, and my recommendation is, and we haven't seen this yet, but it's Santa Jaws.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That sounds terrible, and it could be a contender.
I believe it will need to be watched by everybody
Santa
at some
Jaws.
point. Yep.
Be good.
It's like we don't like watching good scary movies. We
Well, of
just like
course.
watching
Entertaining.
bad ones, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, because we've watched. Last year we watched The Ring, which I don't like. That's a good one, so I don't really understand my sister's
The Ring
criteria.
was good. Yeah.
We watched The Ring, the I Know What You Did Last Summer trilogy.
Okay.
Yes.
Urban Legends.
Oh. Keep talking.
We tried watching Saw at Thanksgiving though, and we only made it one in because it was too gory.
Was Urban Legend the one that had John Bon Jovi in it? Was that movie?
I have to look it up.
One
I
of
don't
one of
think
those
so.
one of those movies from the late 90s to 2000s. He played like an instructor at a college or something. And I thought maybe
Robert
it
Englund was in one of them as a
Oh,
yeah.
I can picture the
But I could be wrong too.
I can picture well, he was Freddy.
Yeah, but he was like in like one of those early 90s movies. He was a professor, a college professor,
Oh yeah.
as like a small role.
I'm going to look this up. Talk amongst yourselves because I need to redeem myself. I know he was in a horror movie.
Urban Legend.
I feel
Have
like
you
it's
seen
Urban
that
Legend,
show?
but
And there's two, and they both take place. One takes place at like film school, and the other one takes place in just a normal
Yeah.
college.
It's been a minute, but yeah, I kind of remember those. And then like, of course,
Joshua Jackson's in the first one, as is Lex
Ooh.
Luthor. I can't remember his actual name.
Rosenbaum. That guy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Rosenbaum.
Yeah.
And then I want to say Tara Reid's in it.
Yeah, that sounds about
And
right.
then Jared Leto also in it, I'm pretty sure.
God. What a cast.
He's in the first one.
That's a cast.
I know. And then in the second one is the guy who was in like Ulrich from The Vampire Diaries and like all those shows. I don't remember what his actual name is. And then the girl that was in House.
all right. I did not get it correct. Do you okay. So the movie that he was in was called Cry Wolf. That was the movie he was in, and it came out in 2005.
Who's in that besides him?
Besides him, it would have been such movie stars as
Can't wait.
find this out. Julianne
doesn't
Morris, everyone's favorite actress, Lindy Booth,
Of course.
Jared Padalecki. Is he related to? Isn't there another Padalecki? Wasn't he in?
He's the one in Supernatural.
Oh,
One of the
yeah.
two.
Okay.
Good
Okay.
grief.
But John Bon Jovi plays Rich Walker,
Rich Walker.
which if he was outside walking,
He'd be
yes,
rich.
that's he is rich,
not poor
'cause
Walker.
He's in a group that is named after his middle name and his last name.
See, there you go. I wish
I think he makes a lot of money off of that.
announcers in Hollywood would like use our terms, you know, Like the guy from this ER show. Like, it's like,
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
It'll help mom
Like,
a
you
lot.
Well, like my thing is I don't know people. Like I recognize them. It's been driving me crazy because like I've been watching The Mandalorian and I recognize one of the characters, but I can't figure out from what. And I even went to his IMDb and it wasn't showing up. So I'm like, okay, how do I know him now? So it's not been great.
When
it was the glasses guy that was with the client.
Wait, the glasses guy. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. And
Right? Like,
I too recognize him from other things. It gets even better. I'm going to say this to you. You're on episode 3, 4? The next one you watched?
3 or 4, yeah.
Okay.
I just watched the one that was directed by Bryce Dallas Howard.
Nice. Yeah. I recommend when you are done that you watch the I think they're called the gallery episodes. Where it has the cast and also the directors for a different episode, just like a roundtable discussion. And
cool.
It's really cool. So, and I think after you watch an episode that it might give you like a quick, like, hey, watch this down at the bottom. So check that out.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I think it's called Gallery. I think so. And they're doing, not that you're there yet, but they are going to make more for the second season.
Sweet. There
Yeah.
you go.
And Joe's going to start watching Mandalorian.
I better.
And he's going to learn some shit about Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, you'll want to, because then you'll want to watch the new one that's coming out with Obi-Wan and Hayden Christensen's.
I know, right? It's like,
that's pretty crazy because it didn't need to be him.
No, but what the fuck else is he doing?
Because he wears a helmet. So I'm wondering how that's going to go.
But I wonder if they're going to do more, like, I don't know if I have not watched.
Are you thinking it's going to be
Wars.
like immediately after? You should really watch the Clone Wars because
what
I feel like you would. What?
Well, that cartoon, like it has Vader before.
How dare you call it a cartoon? It is an animated series.
It's fine. If you are offended by me calling it a cartoon, then you're the one that thinks cartoon like has a negative connotation.
Well,
with cartoons.
especially
I just enjoy them,
especially towards the Clone Wars fans were kind of screwed after the Disney merger. And I believe that this is the reason why, and unless I'm remembering differently. But they were several seasons in to the series, and I used to watch it with Kara when she was young.
Oh, yeah.
Now, did she remember watching it with me? No.
Every detail.
But I was an adult, so I remembered it, and I loved it. And one of the main characters, and the reason why I suggest you watch it, is because of Ahsoka. And
because she was just in. They just brought her in The Mandalorian.
How could you possibly know that? Yes. Because you're not there yet.
I have the internet.
What? They have that in Gilbert? That's weird.
Like,
you guys got fiber optic?
Pop up.
Oh, okay.
I also
Google Fiber.
I think I follow Kevin Smith.
Oh,
maybe.
And he probably
posted about it.
He probably flipped out
about
that
guy.
Rosario Dawson.
Yes, I'm one person away from her.
And then she went home and had dinner with Cory Booker.
That's right.
That's how that worked.
See? Probably steak. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know.
Because they're rich.
Yeah.
Right?
Ding. That's correct.
Wait. I don't know how to turn it off. I don't know how to stop that from happening.
This is my new favorite, though.
Yeah, it's so dumb.
Turn it off.
We're professional. Speaking of us being professional, let's take a break.
What?
We'll be right back with our fancy thing.
40,000 people packed in this room. It's amazing.
It's like
you're following social distancing.
It's like a stadium, but not.
People don't know that there's not like bleachers and like stuff off camera.
We have gremlins in here.
We do. Don't water them.
Don't.
Well, they already did.
We have gremlins.
After midnight.
I have a phone from the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have some posters.
Some Tron. So yeah, Disney
Wait,
Plus.
nope, shut up. And we're back.
Hello, everybody.
Yes.
Cannot have
That's important. What were we talking about? Yes. So you should really watch the Clone Wars. And the reason why I was defensive of it being called a cartoon is that I feel like the quality of it is far superior to a cartoon. And especially, I don't know what exactly they did in the final season because, oh yeah, this is what I was talking about. I'm stupid. They basically took it away. With everything that was happening, like, oh, we're done with Clone Wars. Sorry. So they did these shitty last episodes. Maybe it was even just one. I don't know. But it was like they incorporated some of the animation that they had and then put storyboards with voices just to try to wrap up things for people. And it was ridiculous. Like it was nice that they were giving us something.
Sure.
But it was a kick in the nuts.
Yeah. Like,
thanks. And it was just lame. So then when I was at Star Wars Celebration and they also did we got to see the trailer for episode 9 for the first time, which was
okay.
And I ended up I don't know if you knew this, but I ended up in the room where they were premiering it and where the cast was.
Yes.
And I wasn't supposed to be there, but it just happened. No, it happened. It happened more legit than that because I legitimately thought that we were going in the right place. And other people that listen have heard this before, but we got in a line outside and this convention center in Chicago, I forget the name of it, but it's huge. So we parked our car and we just got in this line that was outside. So we thought we were all getting in. And I was up towards the front with my kids, with Sam and Leia. And so we get through this line and my family's coming up behind us. And I get through. They look at my thing quick and I'm in. And then they stop my wife and they stop the people that we were with. And they're like, no, this isn't where you're supposed to be. You're supposed to go around here and go in there. And it's a completely different building. And then I realized that I was in the thing for the panel for the show, which had all of the stars with the exception of like Harrison Ford, but you didn't know that he was in the movie yet. But it had everybody that was in the fucking movie.
J.J. Abrams.
Yeah,
and like
he was there. Kathleen Kennedy was there. Everyone, yeah. And so I got in, and the one thing that I had to do was Becky said, "Bring Leia to me." So I met her over on the side and gave her Leia. So then Sam and I snuck in, and we got to watch the whole panel, and it was fun and it was entertaining and just had a blast. And then they showed the trailer and I was talking to another friend, a mutual friend of ours, John Hall, the other day. And we were at his sister's wedding and we were talking about how we can't control our emotions anymore now that, or at least for me, it was, like after I had kids and whatever. I feel like I used to be able to handle things a lot better.
Yeah.
But you watch this trailer and you're watching it for the first time and it's like the end of the Skywalker stuff. And I'm just, it was similar to, I told you about the experience when we saw the Doctor Who episode. Remember Matt Smith's last episode? And it was it was ridiculously sad. You'll catch up. It was it was so incredibly sad. And then Kara and I went to New York for the premiere of Capaldi's first episode. We were very excited for the new Doctor, and so we decided we'd take a trip, just the two of us, and it was a great experience. But then you're in the theater. This is another spoiler, but it was years ago, so deal with it. Then Matt Smith shows up in the episode, and it's like calling back to that very last episode that he was in, and it shows you what he was doing in the meantime of this thing that happened. If you haven't seen it, this doesn't make any sense. But I'm just in the theater bawling, and I can't help it. And that's the same thing.
I remember crying pretty hard. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was
in that episode because
it was the worst. And so I'm in the auditorium for the Star Wars thing. And they show the trailer, and the first time I decided, there was tons of people in there that were holding up their phones to record it, and it was on Twitter like immediately afterwards. but we were in that room. We were the first ones to be able to see it, and I don't know, just way too much emotion for me to handle, and the fact that I had Sam there with me, I don't even know if he will remember it that well. But even after the fact, Joe and I were online, and I found a video of it online. I'm sure that there's a few of them, but I think it was an official shot video. And so it's like a steady camera, but you get to hear all of the audience reaction to it. And it was almost too much for me to watch that because it put me back there again.
It's like, man.
Yeah.
Do you hear you crying in the background of
I here's the thing. I don't audibly cry.
Right.
So, I mean, Jamie, I'm a man. Okay.
Right.
I'm not.
So that means you're fine with crying because there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. You showed me what you recorded, which was damn close.
Yeah.
And then we went to YouTube and like, hold on here. There's got to be something that's like a little bit backed up a little bit further. You can get the whole sense of it. And we found one. And then they showed, like, it was funny because I remember you went and you sent me a picture like, hey, look where I'm at. I'm like, holy shit.
And Joe's like, what's Star Wars?
Hey, I know Star Wars enough.
I know.
Sounds legit.
And then I show that you sent me a picture and I was at work. So I sent it to, like I showed it to some of my coworkers and they're like, fuck you. I'm like, I'm not even there.
How dare you show me this?
And so I'm like, yeah, my buddy is there right now. And then, so I didn't know that detail of like you slipping in, and then
it was weird.
So then they showed it twice.
Yeah.
Then
So then after they show the trailer, then fucking what's his name?
Palpatine.
Yeah. But the dude that plays Palpatine, what is his name? Oh, Ian McDermott. So Ian McDermott then came out on the stage, and he was just him, but in Palpatine's voice, because at the end of this trailer, you hear Palpatine laugh. And there was like, everybody was speculating. Everybody just like started screaming and freaking out at the end of this trailer. And because nobody had any idea that he was going to be in this movie. And you hear the in the background. And then he comes out and the stage goes all red behind him. And he's like, roll it again.
What?
As Palpatine. So then we got to watch the trailer again, and that's when I got my phone out and recorded a little bit of it. And
God.
That's really cool.
It was fucking crazy. And then I found out later that everybody in the actual convention center, any TV that was in there that was connected to their network was also playing it. So my family and the friends that we went with to this convention, they sat down in this area and got to watch the trailer at the same time, but they just didn't happen to be in the room with the big screen with and all of that.
Like,
so yeah, it was basically it was like the size of the place was a little smaller than Hilton in Ames.
Okay,
but it was pretty big and not in the round. Obviously, but it was pretty big. It just had a stage up front. So,
like, damn.
Yeah. So anyway, where was I going before that? What was I talking about before the convention stuff?
British TV and.
Oh God, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about British TV.
Good grief, Charlie Brown.
Anyway, I really enjoy. If that is indeed what we were talking about, I really enjoyed A Discovery of Witches, and it was maybe even more fun. Because I didn't fucking know anybody in the show. Like there were some people that that looked familiar, but I just thought that it was really well done. And I don't know. Apparently, it's 3 books in the series
Teresa
so far.
Palmer.
Is that who it is?
Yes.
Okay.
That's the girl's name. Yes.
Oh,
sorry.
nice. But when I was at Barnes and Noble, they showed me the book options, and there was a 3-pack of books, and Discovery of Witches was the first one. So I'm wondering if each season follows a book or not.
Oh,
but it's basically a normal lady, who starts seeing a vampire.
All right, it's normal. All right.
Yeah, but it's the things that you don't necessarily think about because like the families have to acknowledge one another, and like he's not a dick vampire, like he's kind of a good guy vampire.
Oh yeah.
He's just trying to make it.
It's like, hey, It's like I feel bad for her. Like, hey, you want to see a picture of my boyfriend? Like, there's nothing showing up. It's like,
is it? Does it? Like, is that the way it is in pictures too?
Yeah,
I forgot.
Not mirrors. You can't do it in mirror.
That's funny. But no, I'll get you that. You can watch that on those very legal DVDs that I have, and
I can't wait.
It's going to be worth it. But now, since you started Mandalorian, are you going to just burn through it?
Hit the gas.
I mean, probably.
Okay, because I think
I have a lot of quilting to do, so I need something on.
Well, it might be kind of cool because then if you go pretty fast, you might be able to catch up with where we are in season 2. Because I think we have 2 or 3 episodes left in season 2, so you can watch those when they premiere with everybody else.
Yeah, that's the cool part is that it's not all just one chunk.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Well, and that way I can talk about it with my boss at our next weekly meeting.
Oh,
that'd be cool.
That's awesome. Man.
He wanted to talk about it in our last one so our team of like 3 have a meeting once a week, and he wanted to talk about that, but then
you shut it down.
I'm like, he's like, Jamie, will you get up? I'm like, no, you can talk about it if you want, because I have no right to play the spoil. Like, you're gonna spoil it for me card because I'm so far behind. Like, no.
Why did you wait so long? Because you're a Star Wars fan.
I know. I think it's because I, in my head, was gonna watch it with Rory, and then I didn't, and then I just got this, and then like the season ended, so it wasn't like being brought up again as much, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it kind of got buried to the back of mind, and so then the next season started, and it's just been kind of a weird couple of months. So I like still forgot to start it.
Yeah,
so.
Life happened.
Now I have.
Yeah.
I found out.
Yeah. So then.
Yeah. Well, I found out that a mutual friend of ours is a little hard on the show, and I wasn't expecting it. I can't say his name.
Boo, his.
William.
But
I was not expecting him to be so down. And I wonder if it's just kind of like a you should send him a text once you get like through season 1 and just be like, hey, little bird told me that you're being weird about this.
We need to talk.
So I'm not sure if he's watched all of season 1. I forgot. We talked about it. Sometimes we chat. We have conversations when we're playing video games online. So we're I'd like to say that we're murdering a bunch of noobs online.
Yeah.
But I'm not necessarily great at it.
That's
so
fair.
maybe I'm the one getting murdered more than me doing the murdering.
Could be.
But we have these conversations that can sometimes get a little deep and a little political, but we're both kind of on the same side of things. But afterwards, it's like your mind's in 2 places, so you can only really focus on one or the other. So I can't remember exactly how far he said he got into it, but I was led to believe that he has not been watching it lately. Like he's not really that into it. And I do remember the point he made that he didn't think that it was necessarily gritty enough, and I understand, but or necessarily I think he didn't say it didn't necessarily need to be like more violent or anything, but he feels like it's tamed down for kids. And my argument for that was that it's something that even myself with 3 kids, my entire family can watch it. And if it got to be like too intense or too mundane or boring, if they didn't try to keep the story moving or whatever, and I can't remember exactly what the complaint was, but I understood what he was saying. But then I was coming at it from a dad's perspective, and it's something that I get to do with my kids. Yeah, and so I'm like, I'm not sure I'm on the same page
level
because I do enjoy it for the way it's being done.
Because the original Star Wars was something my dad dug out.
Yeah,
we started a fire, made a bowl of chili. And I'm like, we're watching this. Like, okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, and
it's true.
I guess I kind of like it because I'm not as deep in the mythos of all of the Star Wars stuff. Like, I watch it on a very, top level.
Yeah.
Like, I don't go that far in all the background information. So for me, it's perfect because I can just sit and enjoy it.
That's it.
I don't have to invest that much brain power in it. It's just an easy, enjoyable watch.
Mm-hmm.
For me, that's where I'm.
How old is Rory now?
He's gonna be 10.
Oh my God!
Wow.
So, but you don't really, because of COVID, you don't really get to see him?
I mean, we've actually seen him once every couple of months, probably.
Okay, nice.
Once every 2 or 3 months.
But you don't get
so
the one-on-one time to hang?
Not as much.
Because if that gets to be a thing that you can do, I would recommend watching Clone Wars with him.
Oh, the animated, yeah.
Yes.
And I forget that sometimes watching things with him is very hard because you have to watch something with that can have the closed captioning on.
Right.
So I need to know how to turn the closed captioning on. We were trying to watch a movie together and I just could not get closed captioning to work. So we actually had to switch what we were watching. And I was kind of bummed because I really wanted to introduce him to this thing, but I couldn't figure out how to get my closed captioning on my TV to work, just because of his hearing issues. And it sometimes is hard to watch Star Wars with him because he wants to know so much about it. So
he immerses himself in things.
He knows so much about Star Wars history. Like
to learn.
Sometimes,
yeah.
Yes. So sometimes he just wants to stop and clarify something. Totally get that. But then sometimes he just wants to talk about it for a little while.
Yeah.
So when you're going to watch something with him, you sometimes need to schedule twice the amount of time.
Yeah.
Just because he'll want to talk about it, which is great. And I love it's great. Or he likes to watch your reactions to stuff. If it's something he knows really well, he'll want to watch you watch the movie. Which slightly disturbs me. I'm like, can you just stop looking at me, please? He's like, I just want to see what you think. And I'm like, I love you, but please stop. I can't enjoy this knowing I have an audience watching
That's
me.
funny.
And I'm like, we're watching the movie, not Jamie right now, bud.
Now, was it easy for you to, and I know that this would have been a long time ago, but was it easy for you to adapt to watching closed captioning?
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
well, I guess because I've grown up I feel like I've always watched closed captioning, or
Really?
I have often, because my mom, maybe not always, but it never really phased me because my mom has always been hard of hearing.
oh,
And sometimes Bailey and I, if we're watching a scary movie, will turn off the music, we'll turn off the sound, but turn on the closed captioning because sometimes it's too scary. And if you just take out the audio, it's not as bad.
It's a good way of doing it.
It
wow.
is. Some people do not appreciate when we do that. So
I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with closed captioning. I know I have a couple friends that kind of just leave it on for fun, and that's weird.
It's a lot.
I don't really I don't get it. I'm not going to do it here. We don't need it. But it reminds me of the first time I was kind of forced to watch closed captioning, and I wasn't mad, but it was so distracting to me. It took me a long time to get used to it because I was such a movie person. But I started dating this girl, Jessica, and her brother was deaf. And the first time I went over there to hang out with them, they were watching City Slickers on TV.
Classic.
And that was one of the first times that I watched a movie with closed captioning. Because very rarely did, even at school, I mean, neither of you went to Nevada, but we never... Whenever we watched a movie, we had a girl who was deaf in our class, in our big graduating class, but she was never in any classes with me, so we never had to watch it. But I just remember it took me a long time to get used to, especially if it was a movie that I really liked. And
right.
I was like, oh, I gotta watch it with these fucking words on the screen.
It's tough. You gotta look down enough.
But I understand any part of me that was upset about that was just being a dick.
Oh yeah, it's an adjustment. That's all it is.
But it was a big adjustment for me.
It's down and up,
and
down
especially
and up.
because this kid at the time, I want to say he was, I don't know, he was super young. We were 15 or 16, so maybe he was 9 or 10. So he was kind of checking in and out of the movie, and I'm like, are we sure this is worth it? That we're just he's not even paying attention.
Fine. Man.
Oh man, yeah. But in hindsight, remembering that, I was being a dick. So I'm
it's
sorry.
an adjustment, especially when we get bigger and bigger TVs, like a 77 inch. It's like this movement.
But now, like there is that. But now with the bigger TVs, the subtitles can be smaller.
Yeah,
like it takes up less of the screen.
Some you can like.
But I mean, their TV was like this,
like
But and I mean, well, wait. Back then, it would have been. Yeah, we didn't have widescreen TVs. I'm old.
Like a 13 inch or something. Yeah.
Hey, before we finish this episode, did you have anything that you want to talk about? I want to make sure we've been just kind of making this shit up.
Yeah.
So
we're going on the fly.
I know. I can't. I mean, nothing in particular.
Have you watched any movies lately? We're talking about a bunch of nerdy stuff, so we might as well talk about some more movies.
What have I watched? Oh, I watched the other day The Final Girls.
The Final Girls.
It's a scary movie. Yes.
Oh,
and it has,
well, right. So that's unless I'm wrong, is that referring to the girls at the end of a horror movie that survive? Okay.
Yes.
So this is a movie specifically about them?
So the premise is this girl's mother was in a cult classic 80s horror movie.
Okay.
And then said mom passes away in a car accident. A few years later, they're showing a double header of the two movies, and this girl's best friend's older brother, stepbrother, wants the main girl to come to the show for a Q&A because she's the star's daughter, and the star is now dead. And so she ends up going, and they somehow get trapped in the movie. And it's all about how do they escape the movie. Ooh. And they have to be the final girl.
That sounds good. Sounds fun.
It was I liked it. And it had the guy from oh my goodness, I can't even remember the show he's on. Doesn't matter. I thought it was a fun little easy watch.
Okay.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Now, when you watch this movie and you self-identify yourself with a character, would you be a final girl?
Probably not.
No?
I don't think I would.
You die early?
I don't know when I die. I'm like the nerdy girl that dies. Yeah,
well,
I think I'm one of the nerdy girls that dies.
I would argue that the nerdy girl in the movie should survive.
They know a lot of information.
I feel like I think they survive a lot. I feel like
I feel like what's happening is that the nerdy girl doesn't show up to the party because she's too busy studying. There
you go.
I feel like I'm the nerdy, quirky girl that makes it really close to the end, but then like does something and might like freak die.
Right.
I don't know. I feel like that's a character.
That's
like
possible.
I make it like 90% of the way, but I just don't quite get there.
Like,
where I die.
You help others as far as you can, and then
yes,
that's it.
It's like you go. I don't know. Oh no, I don't want to say I'd survive. That's just jinxing it.
That's great. Well, this is not as exciting talk, but how's work going? And what have you been working on? What are your latest things?
What have I been working on? Oh, we're doing a lot of end of year wrap up stuff.
Okay, what is your official job title?
Well, I am now the assistant director of creative services.
Nice.
I actually got a promotion from graphic designer to that title in February.
And nobody has corrected you to say assistant to the director?
No.
Okay, good.
I sometimes. That's what, but I mean, kind of. Because, so that's my title. And then my boss is the director of creative services.
Okay.
So,
who was I talking to recently that doesn't like The Office? I forget.
Someone.
Yeah, it was one of my friends. And
Sounds familiar.
it's Lars. Lars doesn't like The Office.
I can see that though.
I can't. It's weird.
He's in an office.
Well, he's at home now.
At home, but still.
Yeah. I like, isn't funny though? And it's maybe it's too dry.
Probably.
I would say
Humor's
not,
different.
because sometimes The Office, like especially in later years, it got to be too awkward.
Cringy.
Like it was like cringy humor. Yeah. It like funny is funny
that.
in some cases.
Yeah, it's so
but I think like towards the end it got like
sexual harassy kind of in a way.
Well, that was Andrew Bernard.
That's fair. It was just kind of like, ugh. I was like, yikes.
He didn't do that.
So you're watching this on a Thursday night, going to work on a Friday. Like, oh God. It's like back in the day when it was on Thursday night, NBC.
That's right. Must see TV.
That's right.
What else was on at the same time as The Office?
Office.
Did the Office overlapped with Friends, didn't it?
Oh boy.
Or did it not?
Maybe barely.
I feel
Barely?
like on probably Grey's Anatomy. I feel like that was on Thursdays.
Let
I
me
have
tell
no
you
idea, though.
about a show that I don't give a shit about. It's called Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy.
And
Same.
Still on.
And my wife still watches it. God bless her.
It's a soap opera.
And I've been saying for years to her face, they should stop that anytime.
Free up some room.
And it sounds like the lady, is it, what's her name that played Meredith Grey? Isn't that her name? No,
That's the character name.
okay.
Yeah.
So it just sounds like it's a convenient job for her, and it's probably a cash cow for the network.
Just keep it coming
because ladies and some gents just love their Grey's Anatomy.
I know. They need a medical drama. There's always been a medical drama.
Yeah.
Just somewhere.
And I don't give a shit. And it sounds like most of the original characters have moved on with their lives.
Yep.
And I'm just like, why? Then why is it still going? Why?
Yeah.
Just stop it.
It's like the band Journey.
But it sounds like
it's
it
not
might
really-
be stopping. Like this might be the last season. That's what I heard.
Wow.
Other people that watch the show would know more than me. Maybe I'm way off base here, but my dream might come true.
What are they
that I
going to add
don't
to the
have to
schedule?
hear about the show. Well, so that's the thing. Is that's Lars is replacing the friend that doesn't like The Office. He loves Grey's Anatomy. He'll talk with Becky about Grey's
Shut
Anatomy.
up.
No,
What?
for real.
I do not see him. What?
For
Good
real.
God.
Not a joke.
Let's have
That's
him on.
so weird.
This is Grey's Talk.
This is welcome to Grey's Talk.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's like...
I don't know what to do with that information.
It's true. I swear to you. It's absolutely
Supernatural just ended after like 500 seasons.
true. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? I mean, good for them, but still, like, what?
It's kind of fun. My oldest sister just started watching Supernatural.
Oh
And she's
my
like, and I
God.
know it has like a million seasons.
Yes.
So I know that the two main characters, when I end up liking them,
Yeah.
they're not going to get off in a while because they're going to, like, there's a million seasons. So that's why I started watching it. I'm like, solid.
They're
solid
gonna
listening.
survive.
It's fair. Yeah. You got a lot of stuff to burn through. That's what I enjoy about
Yep.
like discovering a new, not new, obviously based on this whole thing, but finding a new to me recording artist that's really good. But
Yeah.
like they've been around since the 80s or something, and you've just got a shit ton of content to go through. And that's what happened with me and Suzanne Vega. When I discovered her, I knew of a couple songs that were hits, but then I just one day bought a greatest hits CD. I think it was called like Retrospective, and I was like, I like every single song that's on this album, so
do
maybe
it.
I'll
Because they're the greatest hits.
exactly
Do it.
And so I bought all the albums and over time, and it was great. The same thing, I was always an REM fan, but I never dove into the discography until after they had disbanded. And there's just so much stuff. They have so many albums, and I still don't have. My ultimate goal was to memorize. I don't know, because I'm weird. I wanted to memorize all of the lyrics to all of the songs, and it's just too much.
A lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot.
Damn.
But I love it all.
Yeah.
So that's just always fun to me. Kind of it's stuff that's been around for a long time, and I think it's the equivalent of like her finding Supernatural, and like I have so much shit to watch now. And if you know that you like it based on the first season, it's going to get better because they're going to get more money because they're successful. So how could it go wrong? With the exception of Smallville.
Smallville.
That got weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys finished
at the
that.
end.
They
I
did.
did not
I did.
enjoy the end.
But they had the marketing down where you'd watch it once a week, and then they'd have like some new song that's like popular and out.
It was weird.
And then at the end of the episode, they said, if you like this track, go to Walmart and pick up blah, 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 blah.
That was like Bones and other shows like that starting to
yeah.
show up with like, oh, what show me the special features of this
Kia.
this Ford
Or whatever.
that we're driving. It's fucking weird.
Like, quit it.
And then that's when I told Becky, I can't watch this anymore.
There were early 2000s was about the time when TiVo started becoming a thing.
Yeah.
So that's when you saw more product placement because people would jump through all the commercials and not watch the commercials. Then all of a sudden, you're sitting there and then like people are in the, in the cafeteria and like, oh, have a Coke. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's like times have changed.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Crazy. Dude, okay. So Disney Plus said that they were going to release their like more adult content, which sounds hilarious.
What?
Like they own like the rights to like Terminator and Kingsman and like a little bit more adult driven, not so much towards the kids. But
wait, so are they going to release? Wait, how do they own Terminator?
I don't know, but like it's the
Is that a Fox?
yeah, that's it. It's like whatever.
So Disney owns Fox now?
Yes.
Okay. So are they going
bought Fox.
to release the Sarah Connor Chronicles? Because I need to finish that
could.
because fucking Netflix pulled it off before I could finish it.
The article I read though is that they're doing this thing where you basically go to like a password protected to get to that content. It's password protected.
That means boobies, Jamie.
Right. So the kids don't get into
you.
it, but they're only doing it. Thank you. Okay. So, they're doing that only in so many countries, but then they said, but for the US, most of that content is going to stay on Hulu. So it was like, thanks.
Wait,
Right?
why would it? Because it's still. Are they putting it on Hulu because it's basically Fox? Because that's how New Girl was on Hulu for a while, and
Now it's on
because I
Netflix.
remember seeing the splash of Fox at the beginning of it
Yeah,
every time
that's
I would
right.
go to watch it.
Yeah. Now it's on Netflix.
Is it?
Yeah.
But does it still show the Fox thing at the beginning?
It could.
Or do they make
I'm not
them get
sure.
rid of that?
I'm not sure. But yeah.
There's too many. We've
I
complained.
feel like when things are on Netflix, they don't have their.
splash
I
screen.
don't think it has
Yeah.
the Fox. I don't think it has
We
that
were
splash
talking about
anymore.
this recently that there's too many streaming services, and I hate it.
Yeah, I just cycle through them at my leisure. I usually
Yeah.
only have. Well, okay, I have Disney Plus always, and then I like have one other one
Watch
rotating.
the Clone Wars.
I have
watch
too much.
the Clone Wars. Watch
Watch
it
the
tonight.
Clone
Watch the
Wars,
Clone Wars
watch
tonight.
I'm watching Mandalorian tonight.
That's
while
true.
I sew.
Mandalorian.
That'll be-
Gotta finish that first.
Mandalorian is good.
Yeah.
I like that, and I like the art that they show at the end of the episodes.
Yeah. That's pretty
Yes, that
That's
is
really
very
fun.
cool.
Yeah. John Favreau, you did all right by me.
That's right.
That's happy, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Happy from
I
Iron Man.
wanted to confirm.
That's right. He directed
That
Elf
was correct.
and then went on to like,
Yeah.
Holy Lord.
I told the kids to pick a Christmas movie tonight, so I'm wondering if they're going to pick Elf since we watched the making of thing.
Yeah.
Either that or we need to watch Home Alone again.
Bum, bum, ba-da-dum.
Solid choice.
I believe that they should all remember it from the last. Not Leia. She doesn't remember shit. She's 3. She
We're
watches.
not adding Die Hard to the maybe list.
I thought about watching Die Hard this year because I don't think I watched it last year.
I
But
don't think we
but I
did.
did just watch part 2 last night, so I need a little distance because
fair.
they're quite similar, except that the first one is clearly a Christmas movie.
I did find a YouTube video last night of the Home Alone house being put on sale.
I remember that
And
it was
it
all
shows-
over
yeah.
the internet.
It shows the realtor walking through, like, yep, here's this. And honestly, they didn't, if you watch that thing on Netflix, they didn't really film a whole lot in the house.
Really?
That they made a
No.
studio out of it. So, like, the things that are, like, real are, like, the staircase and, like, a couple things.
So the side rooms aren't real?
No, that's all studio.
So they just built a whole other thing.
Uh-huh.
Now, is that one of the John Hughes movies that they filmed the set inside the gym
Yeah.
of the school?
Yep.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right.
So it was kind of nice, but you're like, well, you're not really buying it for the inside. As you know, you can't walk around and be like, "Hey, that's where Michael Jordan was."
One of my favorite. Did you watch the movies that made us thing about Home Alone?
I haven't watched. No, but my
So
boss
good.
was talking about that.
One of my
The other one.
favorite things that I learned, and I don't know why I didn't think about it at the time, but that the hardest thing that Chris Columbus, is that who
Sounds about
ended
right.
up directing?
Yeah.
Right. No. Well, Hughes would have directed it,
Maybe.
right?
Yeah, Hughes would have directed
But
it.
what did Chris Columbus do?
Produced?
No,
Produce?
I thought he didn't direct it. He wrote it, but he didn't
wrote
direct
it.
I
That's
thought.
right. That's right. You're right.
You're correct.
Thank you, Jamie.
You didn't even watch it.
But no, thank you. The one thing that they weren't necessarily prepared for was the fact that it was nearly impossible to get Joe Pesci not to swear
yeah.
because it was like his thing, and apparently it's his thing in real life, and I totally get it. It's hilarious. So that's why
amazing.
in the movie, instead of swearing, he would do the fricka. So he would just do that. And that's what he did in place of swearing. But if you think about it, he does that so often in the movie. And so that's in his head. He's
Trying
not
to censor
swearing.
himself. Like,
Yeah.
Stop.
That was one of my favorite things that I learned.
I'm so excited to first rewatch the movie and then watch the movies. That
Well,
we
because
did.
if you
So-
watch
that's
if you watch
fantastic.
Joe Pesci in anything else, like that's one of his main thing
Yeah.
that he's known for.
My cousin Vinny,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like he's just him.
The
Yules.
way that he speaks, obviously, and like his candor that way, but it's like fluid for him to curse, which was fun also to watch him in The Irishman, which
Yeah.
you have not finished.
It's only 3 days long. You know, it's a long movie. I got to get to that.
It was kind
Which
of
is longer, The Irishman or 2020?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Emotionally.
Probably
2020.
Probably 2020.
Yeah. I didn't watch a movie and be like, shit, I got cancer.
But I'm not fair. Fair point. But like, there's a lot of shitty things about 2020. But me personally, I got a lot of time with my kids at home.
Yeah.
And like Kara's even made, she's 12 and she made the observation the other night. And I think she thinks similarly to me. And, she has a bit of anxiety like I do about things. And she was like, how is it fair that we only have like so much time like in life and I'm supposed to go to school like all day, every day?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I get it,
I know.
but I don't know what you want me to do about it.
Yeah. Wait till work life happens.
Yeah, and we do this thing every night. Not every night, but occasionally she'll text me and ask me to come in her room and hang out with her while she's falling asleep. And she'll just ask me questions like that stuff that she sits there and is thinking about as she's going to sleep, and which is part of the problem because she overthinks things when she's going to bed. And
yeah.
I try to, talk her through things, and it's nice because we get to have those moments together at the end of the day sometimes that it's just
That's
her
really
and I.
cool.
Yeah, no, I love
Yeah.
it. And I like the other night I was in there and we were just spending time together. And again, going back to the whole, I'm way too emotional about stuff. Like I started thinking about that, and then heaven forbid I start thinking about her getting older and then not being home, and then I like start crying, but I don't want to show her that I am.
Yeah,
and then it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
like, ugh.
I know.
Like, yeah, it's sweet and all, but to have to live it just sucks.
I swear to God, I'm going to get like,
It's like I'm
I
just
know.
sitting there going, "What the fuck?" Like, just stop, stop it. But yeah, we'll talk about stuff like that, and I'm like, yeah, it sucks, but I don't
Yeah.
know how to get you out of school
I
because
know.
that's what the government says you have to do. I get it. Like, she's one of the smartest kids in her class. If anybody could not go to school for so many days in a row, like it would be her.
yeah.
But it's just like I don't know what to tell you. And you're talking to the wrong person because I fucking hated school. If I could get you out, I would. And I do
See?
sometimes.
Yeah. Like,
what was the last? I think it might have been episode 9.
Oh yeah.
That I just I called them in the morning.
Yeah. And you're like, they're not good. Sam was there too.
And I'm
yeah.
like, yeah, my kids are coming to school today.
They're like, they're gonna
I
live
remember
life
that. I
a
remember
little
you
bit.
called because you guys went to the movie the night before, and
Yeah.
you're like, you're not going to school tomorrow. It's fine.
Sorry.
It's 10:30 at night.
Yep.
You know.
Nope, we're staying home today.
Uh-huh.
We still do that for smaller stuff from time to time,
Yeah.
or if we decide to do family stuff. But it gets a little harder because Becky's a teacher at a completely different school, which I guess at a certain point, a certain way of looking at it is easier.
Yeah.
Because then they
Then
don't
you
know
can't
that
just
we're
be
up
like-
to some shit.
Yeah.
Like, why would the kids and the mom be? Weird. But yeah, and that's something that I think 10 years ago that Becky, if our kids were the same age as they are now, 10 years ago, I don't think she would have been on board with it. But I've loosened her up a little bit
Yeah,
on that.
like, come on.
it's like,
gotta
let's
live
just,
life.
let's just take the day off. And so now she does it occasionally for us to go to like the orchard
See, yeah.
as a family. And
Like,
so
why not?
we take a day and it's just like, school can,
What are they gonna
can
do?
wait.
Work's always there.
Yeah.
School's always there. Like, who cares?
And fortunately, my kids are nothing like me when it comes to school, and they are good at it.
That's
fair.
helpful.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that there's.
It's just been.
You
an
were
odd
fine.
year,
You
man.
made it work in the end.
It does work.
You're
Yeah.
successful at what you do.
I got out the way that you're supposed to. Now, they might have had to nudge me a little bit at the end and say something like, hey, if you want to graduate,
What?
here's the list of things you need to do.
Yikes.
And I said to them, I would love to graduate. Let me do these things.
Ugh.
So I did.
Man.
And here I
I
am.
did them real quick.
Live in the it was kind of real quick. And I think they were also just kind of done with me.
That's fair.
Well, I think it's fair. You were done with them. They were done with you. Everyone just wanted to be done.
I think I was done with them when I was a sophomore.
Well, you know, I don't know that many people that have actually like failed school. Like I've heard I've heard that it's like harder to actually try to fail than it is to fail. So in the case of like they want to help you, I
might disagree.
Oh, true, but like I would imagine that like if it got down to it, like yes, you got to do this work, but I'm sure those teachers that are like just I don't want to see you again next year, so I'm going to bump up your grade.
Right,
like,
that's fair.
Just like, get you out.
That's
okay.
fair. Oh my God. I wish I could remember the reason, but I did straight up like fail one class. And I think it came down to the way that I acted in my final for it. And I can imagine what that teacher had to go through mentally to say, well, I'm going to fail this kid, but he's got to come back to do this.
Right. And then you're in the same boat.
Yeah.
So it's like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
And anyway,
I did that for one of my finals. This thing was for like accounting, where I was shaky at accounting, but I was adding up my grades. I was adding up like, okay, this class I'll do good in this class, and then this one I'm like, even if I bombed it, I still come out ahead. And it just went.
Yeah.
She's like, wow, you finished that pretty quick, Joe. I'm like, don't worry about it.
And Jamie got all A's.
Yes.
We know this.
No, I didn't.
What?
I was the only one of the Cornstrom girls to not graduate with honors.
I have
I'm
more
pretty
respect
sure.
for you now.
Yikes, there you go. Come
Thank
down
you.
to our
I'm
level.
arts. I like that. Hey, fun fact. We're out of time.
Yes, we are.
So, but you'll be back soon,
Yeah.
right? We'll do this again.
Yes, whenever you, I would love that.
We're
We'd
gonna
love
have
conversation with
we're
you.
gonna have more Mando talk. She
Mando.
doesn't like when they
I was
call him that.
I said low grade hate
Okay.
because it rhymes with Lando and
Fair.
it's unnecessary, but fine.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I it was a while ago because I started it, when it did premiere, and I remember thinking that it was strange that it was so close. It was weird.
Well, and I was having a hard time hearing the difference between Lando and Mando at first too, so that was mainly it. But then I figured out it's Mandalorian.
Yeah,
So I got there.
Hell yeah.
Anyway, love you long time, and
Always.
hope you
Thank
have
you,
a
Jamie.
wonderful night. Thank you.
Yes.
We'll talk
Thanks
to you
for having
soon.
me, guys.
We heart
Yeah.
you.
Bye bye.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
There you have it. There was our conversation with
Yeah.
our friend Jamie.
Fun conversation.
So thank
Always
you,
good.
Jamie. I love you very, very long time. And we can't wait to have you back.
That's right.
It's going to be good. What are your main takeaways? Because I know what your main takeaway should be from our conversation, but I would like to hear what yours is so I can correct you.
Probably watch way more Mandalorian.
Yeah, we're on the right track.
More British TV.
More, yes, correct.
And the fucking Clone Wars.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone's favorite cartoon.
Clone Wars. Cartoon. Oh, that was a trigger word.
It's a touchy subject. No, it's fine. I'm just creating content. That's what I'm good at.
There you go.
Yeah, clearly you need to watch Mandalorian, but you just in general need to dive further into Star Wars. Because I know that you can get really into things, and I feel like there's so much there for you to enjoy.
Yeah, I know.
In the Star Wars universe.
My dad
and you've got a base
caught up. Yeah, I got
knowledge,
a base.
So that's good.
My dad's caught up to the point where like he's noticing, like, I don't know if he sees it himself or if he reads stuff online that says, oh, by the way, this and that or whatever.
Yeah.
But he's like, oh yeah, you know the pole in like episode 4 when the trash compactor's coming, it's like that's sitting up in the corner on this episode, like right there, and that's this, and you know, like they have like those props where it's kind of like an Easter egg kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, they got that. It's not so obvious.
When I got home today, home from Minneapolis area, I said hi to the kids. They were watching Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Ooh.
Wreck-It Ralph 2. And Sam, like we had already said our hellos and everything and had a moment with each of the kids. And he's like, Dad, you got to come here. Dad, you got to come here. So he paused the movie and there's just some rando character who's supposed to be a human in the show. And he's sitting at a desk wearing a tie. And the tie is R2-D2.
Oh, nice catch.
So,
like,
yeah, Sam caught it. And I'm wondering if it was just a random spot that he paused it and found it, or if he rewound it to show me or what. But I hadn't seen it before.
Wow.
So he caught it without me.
There was a Des Moines reference in that one, too.
In Wreck-It Ralph 2?
Yeah.
Okay. What was it?
It's something like the car salesman guy or something that was like selling. I forget that guy. He was trying to sell something.
Is it Bill Hader's character?
I think that was it.
Okay.
Or something. And they're in this room. They said something Des Moines. It was like,
oh, that's funny.
what? It's like
there's a few movies that have as of late that have done that. And one of them, what was the one that I can't remember who I was with. So you might have been with me. But I was in the theater and there was a particular movie I was watching there and they just like straight up said Des Moines
like,
or something like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was even Ames.
Oh, there was one movie that had Melissa McCarthy in it.
Yeah.
That it was like undercover. She was working undercover.
Okay.
So that one we didn't see, but that was where here's your undercover. You're a cat lady, and you're from Iowa. And then she opens up like this thing. It's like, great, I'm vice president of the Ames Gardening Club. Like, and we were all like, all of us in the theater, like, what the fuck?
Maybe that was it.
Yeah.
I forget. But did you see that in the theater?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Maybe that was it.
Yeah.
That could have been it. What movie was that?
Oh my gosh. She was undercover. Like, I remember she looks like a cat lady. So that's like, look for the picture, the movie poster of her as like kind of a cat lady with like big hair. And like,
I just don't, that premise doesn't make sense to me.
No. But she went undercover for something. Yeah.
It's not,
it was not, like Paris or some shit.
Yeah, that premise is not ringing any bells.
No. But that was one of them. I was like, what?
Huh.
Yeah.
I feel like it was another one. And
then, of course, Bill Murray, Man Who Knew Too Little.
Yeah.
That one where he's getting interviewed. Remember that one?
No.
Or it makes fun of the man who knew too much. And it's kind of somewhat a parody movie, not really. But yeah, so they interview him. They put him under, like, I think a trance or something.
Okay.
It's like, who do you work for? Blockbuster Video, Des Moines, Iowa. Who do you work for? Blockbuster Video, Des Moines, Iowa.
There's not going to be any resolution for this conversation because I'm sure it's not either of those things, but I can't remember which movie it was.
But if you also watch Future Man, which I've never watched on Hulu.
I've seen a couple episodes, but I didn't dig it.
That's all, like all the references, like the visual and everything is like Iowa State campus, Iowa State, like it's nuts. Mm-hmm. It's kind of bizarre to see like someone knows Ames. I guess they're using that for reference. So that's pretty cool. I
just remember it being super weird sitting in a theater in Ames, Iowa, and they say Ames. I want to say it had like Anna Kendrick in it or something.
Oh yeah, not Pitch Perfect.
It was a movie
George
that
Clooney
had
George Clooney, right?
I need to look up something. It was a movie that maybe it wasn't Anna Kendrick, but it's about this couple and they live in a fancy house. It came out within the last 2 years.
Okay.
I want to say. So, but I feel like it was Anna Kendrick. Look up the movies that she came out in the last couple years.
Well, I do know one Anna Kendrick movie with George Clooney where they hired George Clooney to be the bad guy to fire all these people.
Nope, that's not it.
But they do have a Des Moines reference in that. It's not necessarily.
I'm pretty sure this is Ames.
Okay, Up in the Air is the Des Moines reference. That's the one I was talking about.
Okay.
There's Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Nope.
Love
last
Live,
couple years.
Dummy, Trolls.
No.
Noelle.
No.
Fuck. A Simple Favor. Pitch Perfect.
What is that? What's A Simple Favor?
2018.
Okay.
Hold on here.
What happens in it?
So there's the artwork, kind of.
Let me see it.
Pink and blue.
Let me see it. Okay. A Simple Favor. But of course, Stephanie is a single mother with a parenting vlog who befriends Emily, a secretive upper-class woman who has a child at the same elementary school. When Emily goes missing, Stephanie takes it upon herself to investigate. Stephanie, a widowed mother who also runs a cooking vlog, befriends Emily. Wait, that's the same thing. Okay. So A Simple Favor. How does your fucking phone work?
It's not an app.
I know. Fix it. So, I found the clip.
Okay.
And here goes.
Ooh.
Hi moms, Stephanie here. We have very exciting news today because we signed up our 1 million subscriber, Mrs. Carol Findley of Ames, Iowa. Thank you for joining us, Carol.
There. Right?
Clever.
Ames, Iowa. I love it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
So anyway, I'm not crazy.
No, you're not.
And there's your phone.
But then Deadpool had that funny joke.
Oh, Des Moines?
Yeah, it's like, that's lame. That's like the spin doctors playing at the Iowa State Fair. I was like,
yeah.
What?
Watched that like 2 nights ago.
I was like, what?
That was the first night that I was at Paul's. We watched that.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, we're done with this episode. Thank you, everyone.
You so much.
Thanks for checking in on us. We're still alive.
Yes.
And we love you long time. Don't forget, we have a Patreon, and it's
Check it
fancy.
out. Yeah.
And you would love it. And if you join
Subscribe.
it, we will send you a personal message that says, thank you.
Consider it.
Just consider it a little bit.
Come on.
Just touch it.
Throw us a bone.
That's a reference to a Zorak thing when I said just touch it. I wasn't trying to be weird.
No.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. All right. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.